Good evening. It's sunset time. I'm out for my evening walk with my girl. Where is she? There she comes. Anyways, I just want to jabber along here and muse a little bit with you guys. So, it's been 5 years now since I started deconstruction, and what I have learned in those 5 years with the awareness, self-awareness and consciousness that I have gained, I think that every path or journey of the soul is individual. And there is no rule. That is what I have learned. Every human being has an individual journey for their soul that they want to experience. So whether you are Christian or atheist or whatever other flavors of spirituality you might espouse, that's all great. That's all great. And I'm not here to take that away from anyone. I recognize now the highly individualized choices and pathways, and how we develop our psyche, how we actually develop and expand our soul. That is very individuated to each person. So, the other thing that I have found, to the extent that I have deconstructed, and the deconstruction does not just apply to religion. In general, it applies to the overall conditioning that we have received growing up in our respective cultures and societies, religions, political systems. All of these things touch upon really the identity of ego, right? All of these things created different ego identities. And so deconstruction ultimately has to do with deconstructing ego's identities. And once we deconstruct ego or disidentify with ego, then our soul is free to pursue whatever it creates, right? And at this stage, with my soul, I get to choose what I want to experience. I get to choose whether I want to believe in angels and guides and spirituality, or I get to choose to not believe in any of that and just experience my soul's self-awareness, right? And in that sense, we're all different. I am really enjoying exploring the individuality of my soul, where I am not leaning so much in the sense on guides, identifiable guides. Like the identification is really something that our ego does and our ego requires. Ego requires the energetic guidance to have names, to be able to identify them, right? And in my case, I don't need that. There is energy guiding me, right? I like to think of it as the energy of my higher self. I don't have to individuate and point out specifically, Jesus or Mary Magdalene or my mother. I don't have to name them. And as it is the case with my soul journey, my soul wants to experience sovereignty. I want to experience my soul's sovereignty without a ceiling. Like when I think of guides, if I think of Jesus, and I'm now to the point I don't have anything against that, and the people that rely on that, that's fine. I can honor Jesus as a human being, an enlightened human being who lived once and had to master this life journey just as we do. But it's not so important to me. His guidance is not important to me anymore. Like I say, I made direct contact to source consciousness, same consciousness Jesus had, and I like to expand that as much as possible in the vein of sovereignty. How far can I extend my sovereign consciousness? That's my path. But to say all of this, basically to give you guys all a pass with what you experience and believe and live out, the one thing that all of our experiences should have in common is that we can give each other the freedom of this exploration, the freedom of soul, right? To choose and decide whatever we individually want to learn, expand, as far as awareness goes. And we should not judge one another, according to right or wrong. Because nothing is right or wrong, really. The cosmos, the universe does not apply the morality based on right or wrong. Everything is just a lesson and experience. So if we, in all our soul experiences, could just have the common courtesy and grace for one another, to give each other the freedom and still accept one another and still extend love to one another, that would be fantastic, right? So, the main goal, the main thing that I have learned from my deconstruction, my expansion, my soul expansion, is greater levels of empathy and compassion and love for all of humanity, right? And so, if your path is producing that kind of fruit, you're on the right path.